Input-output function. Input means to provide the program with some data to be used in the program. Output means to display data on screen or write the data to a printer or a file. C programming language provides many built-in functions to read any given input and to display data on screen when there is a need to output the result. stdio.h or standard input-output header file. It contains the definition of the functions such as printf functions and then scanf functions which are used to display output on screen and to take input from user respectively. In this example number 1, it displayed the message on screen using printf function. And let's take this example and run this simple program on the DebC IDE. Okay, so we are here now in the DebC integrated development environment where we can run this C program. And let's save this program and then run. Okay, so we have now here the displayed output, a line of text saying welcome to C. So how about if I'm going to create another text? Let's see. And we're going to edit this code. Just copy here and paste it here. And enter. And then save it and run. Okay, so we have now another text. The first one is welcome to C and another one welcome to C. So how about if I'm going to create a new line for this second text? So this time, let's create another new line for this second text using the escape sequence. And we're going to edit this code. So here, we're going to insert here a new line. And the new line, so that is start with a backlash and then followed by character N. And that is what we call a new line character to give us a new line for this text. Save it and run. So we have here a new line, a second line. Again, the first line here and the second line here. Okay, so again, let's create another text. So for example, here I'm going to copy this text and paste it here. Okay, save it and run. So it gives us an output, welcome to C, that is the first line, and then the second line, welcome to C, and again, another text, welcome to C. Example number 2. We add here another function in stdio.h that is scanf function. It obtains a value from the user input using the %d as a format specifier. This %d indicates data should be a whole number, and ampersand or address operator and then number, that is location and memory to store variable. This means the ampersand number used to hold the address of variable number. And let's take this example and run this in the DebC IDE. So here is the example, and we are going to run this code using the scanf functions with a string format specifier %d. Save it and run. So the first line, it instructs the user to enter a value. For example, I'm going to input here 5 and then press enter, and it will give us an output of what the user input, so that is 5. Okay. This line of code, we are defining here a variable.
In the next video, I am going to discuss what variable is it. In this function, it displays the message on the screen asking the user to input a value.
And in scanf, it reads the value entered by the user and display the number as an output, or display the number input by the user. And that is the scanf function using the format specifier %d. So the statement printf you entered present d number is simply uses printf function to display the value or a number that user have entered, and now here is an output from the program. Format string. You must be wondering what is the purpose of present d inside the scanf or printf functions, and it is known as format specifier, and this informs the scanf function what type of input to expect. And in printf function, it is used to give a heads up to the compiler what type of output to expect. Of course, the format string always start with a present character. So we have some here format specifier. These are the present d that scan or print an integer, and that is a whole number. For example, 1, 100, negative 2. So it could be positive or a negative whole number. And then percent f, that is a float. It is scan or print a floating point number or number with decimal point. So here is the example. And then percent %c, this scan or print a character, and it could be an uppercase or lowercase character. And percent %s, this scan or print a character string, for example, a name or a word, so that is a string. In this example number 3, it obtains a value from the user input using %c as a format specifier, and then this %c indicates data should be a letter character. So as you notice here, we have %c in scanf function and then %c in printf function. And let's take this example and run this in libc IDE. Let's run. So it is struck here in the first line of statement. Please enter your middle initial. For example, my middle initial is letter R, and then it display my input here. Okay, letter R. Alright. So that is the use of the %c in scanf function. It is expected that the user should input a character, and then in this printf function, it display what is the stored value in this %c that is from the initial. Of course, this is what we call the variable, and later on you will encounter what variable is it. Okay, let's proceed to the another format specifier, and we have here the example number 4. In this example, we use here the %f in scanf function and another %f in printf function. So this %f indicates data should be in a floating point numbers. Okay, let's take this example and run this simple program in our libc IDE. Okay, so let's save this code and run. Okay, and the first line of text, it instructs here that user should input a floating point number. For example, I'm going to input here 97.5 and then enter. So it gives us an output here 97.50000. As you notice here, it gives us 6 decimal places. Because float, it gives us always the 6 decimal places. To limit the decimal places, we're going to indicate here, for example, the displayed output should be decimal places, then we're going to include here 0.2. Okay, this indicates that during the runtime, it will give us only 2 decimal places. So then we're going to save this code and then run. So it's instruct the user to input here a number with decimal point. Okay, for example, I have a grade of 90, okay, or flat 90. Let's see. So it gives us here 90.00, even though we do not put here a decimal, and it because we use here %f and expected that this format string will give us an output with a decimal places. So we restrict here the decimal places, that is 0.2 only decimal places, and it give us an output here 2 decimal places, for example, like that. And okay, let's do some exercises, and we have here the checkpoint. What are the possible value must be input? So in this simple program, it is expected that the user should input a what? So that is a whole number, because we use here present d, so it could be positive or negative. The fact that is a whole number. And then in this example, what are the possible values must be input? Because we use here present c format string or specifier, then it is expected that the user will input letter character. It could be a uppercase or lower character. And then in this simple program, so what are the possible value must be input? So of course it is expected that the user should input a whole number with decimal point, because we use here %f, that is floating point number. Okay.